You notice I got a new background, sort of?
Well, I noticed that your shelves changed. You're missing a shelf, or it got moved.
Yeah, so essentially what I did, all my helmets, let me see if I can maybe move the camera, my HD webcam. So I put the helmets over there.
Okay.
On that thing, and then it's a temporary maybe solution because I needed somewhere to put like my Marvel stuff and just a bunch of extra crap. An extra shelf. And then so I was like, I'll take the one where all my inbox stuff is that we're on this side. I'll just put that over there, and then that way I got this whole part of the wall now for extra shelves whenever I need.
That's nice. I think the nice thing about what you've got going on is you don't have a closet to contend with. Like in here, I only have so many walls because a whole side of this is a closet, one of those stupid wide closets.
Oh yeah,
it takes up the whole friggin' wall, so I can't do anything with it.
Take the door out and then put like shelves in there. You know what I mean?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Is there something in the closet that
right now it's storing all my camera equipment in empty boxes? Cool. I guess we can get started with the whole Patreon pre-show.
Let's do it.
The Patreon pre-show brought to you by no sponsors. Brought to you by Patreon. You guys support this monetarily. So this show is for you, by you, by us.
I feel like we need to have like we need to call this section of the show like something specific like that. You know what I mean? Like, welcome to the Patreon. Insert cool name.
Yeah. Maybe we do a random Patreon shout out. Like, this week's brought to you by Justin, or so Marky D or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember anyone's names actually off the top of my head, but I know there's approximately right. There's probably a Justin. I'm pretty sure there's a Mark. I don't know.
I mean, you're just throwing out like the most basic person 100%. Names. Shout out to Mike. Yeah. Shout out to Thomas.
When I karaoke, I had to change my name from Mike to Case because there's always, every time I go to karaoke, there's like 5 Mikes.
Yeah.
It's a very Mike thing to do, I guess, is to go to karaoke. So I started using my last name, but then I can't spell it like I do because like no one knows how to pronounce it. It's there's an A and an E and like there's a K-S or whatever. So I just I spell it phonetically but change the C with a K.
Yeah, before I knew who you were and I started watching your videos, I thought it was Mike Cass whenever we first kind of chatted a little bit, Mike Cass, and then you're like, Mike Case. I was like, okay, sweet. Yeah. And actually, it's funny, I had a when I was in high school in youth football, I had a teammate named Mike Case, but it was C-A-S-E.
I've actually met a couple cases that are C-A-S-E, and to me, that's weird. I don't know why, because I've got the one with the weird spelling. Yeah, you have the
one that's spelled like it shouldn't be, you know what I mean?
But phonetically, I'm like, you have my last name. That's weird. I've never met anyone else with my last name before.
Yeah.
I don't have a common last name.
I don't think anybody knows my last name.
I know your last name.
What is it?
Actually, everyone does know your last name because I put it on the iTunes information. So if you go to iTunes, it says brought to you by Mike Case and Zach Arndt.
Why you're doxing? You're gonna dox me.
You're a public person now.
That's true. I am an influencer.
You are an influencer.
Oh, gee. Well, thank you, Patreons. We really appreciate your support.
I'm just doxing you to Patreons. And I guess anyone that bothers to go look our show up on iTunes, which I have no idea how many people that is, so it could be 10. It could be 500.
Yeah. And what's the worst they could do? Add me on Facebook, you know what I mean?
Or at least try to, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's really not even that big a deal.
No one's going to come knocking on your house because, trust me, my last name's been out there forever and I have a unique last name. I've never had anyone try to track me down or do anything weird shit like that.
That's good. So that's good to hear.
Although if you want to, bring it on. I set up Home Alone traps all over my house. You could paint cans. No, I didn't.
I mean, Mother Nature kind of does it for me because it knocks over all your figures.
That's true.
Like just the earthquakes just kind of randomly happen. And
I thought there was a figure hanging down here, but it turns out it's a little camera mount that I just have on the floor. I probably should have cleaned. I don't know. I don't care. The only people that are seeing this are the Patreon people. So that's really all that matters to me.
Yeah. And I don't think this Patreon pre-show is going to go off the rails like last week's did.
No, we got weird and existential last week.
Yeah, we're talking about death. And, maybe if you're a patron, let us know what you thought about our chat.
Although I could bring it back there because like 20 minutes ago, my mom called me and my grandma has been on her deathbed for like a month. Like every week, right? It's always like, oh, Nanny could die anytime soon. Hospice is saying anytime soon, like any day now. And every time my mom calls, I go, okay, this is the phone call. This is the phone call. My grandma's dead. And my mom just called. And I was like, I was watching it ring. I'm just like, oh, okay, I gotta answer it. I'm about to do a show. I'm not gonna let it affect my show. I'm not gonna be super sad my grandma's dead. And I pick up the phone. It was just my mom asking some inane question. But like every time my mom calls now, I just expect it to be like her telling me my grandma's dead.
Well, that's sad. I kind of feel bad for you now.
It kind of is sad, but at the same time, like I'm not letting myself be sad until it happens. Like right now, she's alive. She's old. I know she's old. Like my grandpa's been dead for a long time. My brother just died. Like what's one other person? I guess like I can make these jokes right now until it happens, and then I'll be sad.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to your grandma. Hopefully she lived a great.
Shout out to Nanny. She's never gonna hear this. Not even once. She does not understand any of this stuff. And I don't want her to because just between you, me, and the Patreon members here, she's pretty racist.
Oh, geez.
Oh, it's one of those things where she lives in South Carolina. And she comes from a different.
Didn't you go down there like?
She comes from a different time. They always say things like that to excuse their casual racism. And it was so cringy. And she's not as bad as some of her other relatives. It was tough. It was tough. And it's not even like casual microaggressions or people, they hear something and they go, well, actually this is this and this is this. And that makes it a racist statement because I connected all these dots. No, it's just blatantly, blatantly racist. Like the kind of things that if you said on Twitter or like just in public, like,
oh man,
Granny, no, stop saying those things. Oh
Lord.
Yeah. Anyways, so I love her, but sometimes I don't like her.
Yeah.
But I love her.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild.
Yeah, it's super wild. So I told you, I can drive anything off the rails, man. I'm like Launchpad McQuack. You're going to give me anything and say, don't take it off the rails? Well, that's the first place we're going. Off the rails.
Man, that's...
I'm going to crash this podcast into the ground.
Hey, you fly a burning ship better than Anakin would.
Maybe. I mean, we are still flying half a ship.
Well, thank you, patrons. I think it's about time we move into the show.
The show props.
The real show.
The real show. Do we have any new Patreon members?
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's the first week we don't have anyone new or one of the few weeks.
Nobody joined.
Well, you know what? Still, thank you. It's very nice. It's very kind of you, everyone, to support us financially on a podcast, for a podcast.
Yeah. It goes a long way. Like the $2 and $5 that you give.
Oh, easily.
Or even more. Like it goes a long way for sure. So we really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. That about does it.
Like, yeah, that's the whole podcast. That's how we end the podcast. We end the podcast by starting the podcast. That's the first step to ending something. Is you have to start.
Yeah, it's been a good one. I've appreciated it. So we'll just close it up. Close up.
Yeah,
shop now.
Okay. So. See ya. Bye. Okay, for the people listening right now, he closed his camera, so it was black, so it was dark. So you couldn't see.
Oh yeah,
as if
it
he was
faded though. You know,
it was
faded.
It was just a visual gag that I don't know if the people listening will truly appreciate. So I'm trying to give them the audio walkthrough of visually what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, they have to sign up for Patreon to see it. So
okay, or they could do that. But hi there, welcome to Black Series Cantina, your source for all 6-inch news, opinions, thoughts, dreams, ideas, wishes, whatever you want. If it's related to 6 inches, you're in the right spot. And if you're here for 3.75-inch nonsense, guess what, Zach?
What's that?
We don't serve their kind here.
But we'll tell them you should stay because the line's going to be dead soon anyways.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Because, I mean, Hasbro... I mean, can the vintage collection stay around in a year?
Crap, I just knocked over all my figures. And
oh my gosh.
I forgot that I did not turn my headphones on. So, again, podcasting mistake 101 here. I'm knocking it out of the park here. Let me pick up all my toys I just knocked over. Again, this is great
Way
podcasting.
to go, Mike.
I'm really good at... After 18 episodes of doing an audio podcast, nothing escapes me.
But we'll get into that later, the plastic cardboard situation.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that is a topic of conversation as evidenced by
the Marvel Legends stream.
Well, that, but I also hopefully the title of our screen of our podcast, which is as of right now unnamed, but we'll think of a good title. And the title might just be a title related to cardboard. I don't know. Something generic
maybe
like that.
Like card-board, like B-O-R.
Oh, B-O-R-E-D, like your board. Oh, that could be it.
Board of all cardboard. I don't know.
That could be it. You might have just saved us.
We'll see if it sticks. We might think of something better.
We probably will, because that's pretty awful. No offense. But take a little offense. Just take a little bit of offense.
I'm gonna take a little bit of offense because I thought it's kind of slick in my opinion, but I mean, there's only so many clever things you can come up with, like plastic and cardboard, and like the dual how they're
I came up with the joke earlier that no one laughed at. I asked if someone tells someone else about their buying experience with an electric car, is that called a Tesla-mony?
That's actually pretty good. I'm gonna say
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny, but nobody laughed. A Tesla-mony. It's like a testimony, but like
I think
a Tesla.
You just have boring friends.
Maybe I'll just get new friends.
Oh man! Yeah. But we do have a solid episode for you today. There's
not
a whole lot of Black Series news.
No, for once,
I feel like there's enough. There's definitely a big enough topic of us for us to have a show around, and these are kind of my favorite episodes because we can just kind of, just talk about the whole line in general. We can just kind of randomly come up with a topic and go off the rails a little bit. We don't have to go through like all these releases and reveals for Hasbro. So, but yeah, should be a great one. I think we're gonna have some pretty fine additions this episode.
At least 3 fire emojis. At least 3.
At least it's gonna be super lit. So we thank you all for listening to Black Series Cantina. If this is your first time listening, please subscribe. If you like the show, if you don't like it, send me a DM on Instagram why you don't, and then we'll see what we can do.
And as always, our Patreon or our show is brought to you by our Patreon supporters who are watching this visually on patreon.com. So if you want to be one of those people, you can head over to our Patreon and subscribe to give us money. And you get a video podcast in return. But if that's not for you, you're still audio listening. That will always be free, so don't worry about it. But Patreon does help us out a lot. And again, we're being brought to you by those people who have supported us on Patreon. So I just want to give out a little thanks, a public thanking, if you will.
Yes, thank you very much. In other news, next Saturday... I might add on Friday or Sunday, I'm not sure. But at least all day Saturday, I'm going to be at ICC-Con in Nashville. So if you're going to be there, if anybody is going to be there, DM me, let's meet up, chat Black Series or whatever. I might be on the podcast stage.
Really?
As a guest on another show. But that's to be determined because right now I'm only planning on being there Saturday.
Okay.
And I think she's recording Sunday, so
The ticket you got for having a podcast, basically. The ticket you got, was that for the whole weekend?
Yes, it's a what's it? I think they called it a media pass or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's access all weekend. But I mean, I live 2 hours away, so I'm just gonna drive down there all day Saturday.
So basically, you'd have to get a hotel room if you wanted to, to stay there. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's not the biggest deal because the hotel is probably like, what, 100 or something bucks, you know.
Just leave it some cardboard.
I was just thinking,
just get a bunch of Black Series boxes and make a little shelter out of it.
Yeah, I have enough. I definitely have enough boxes built up in my storage room to do that. There you go.
Yeah.
Just hopefully it doesn't rain and it's not. I mean, it is tornado season in this area, so just hope.
That's why you do it in your basement.
Good weather, I guess. Exactly.
That's why you do this in your basement.
Absolutely, it's better. You know, it's good because maybe one day I won't have a roof. You know, I'll still be able to record in the basement.
That's right, because if your roof is a floor, you'll pretty much always have that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think we can have basements here in California.
Real quick. You don't?
I don't know. I don't know how a basement would do in an earthquake. Like, you're already underground. If your house is shaking when the ground is shaking, how would a basement fare? I have no idea. I've never seen anyone with a basement here in California ever. So I don't know.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. I haven't either until right now. So let's actually pivot our podcast. Let's talk about basements and tornadoes. Let's just be a tornado podcast.
Yeah, let's just we'll talk about like constructional engineering or whatever.
Absolutely, we're both experts on that, so we can easily make this
for sure
3-hour podcast talking about structural integrity, weather patterns, pressure, high pressure, low pressure fronts. Actually, that's about. I literally have just exhausted all my knowledge on tornadoes, so that's it.
If we turn our podcast into that, I'm gonna not be. I'm gonna leave the hosting duties. So.
Well, don't threaten me with a good time.
Wow, shots fired.
I kid. Okay, well, do you want to go first with fine additions, or should I go first with fine additions?
I'll go first.
Okay,
I'll go first.
All right.
Wait, how many fine additions do you have? What's the number?
7?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
You got to make me big on the screen.
Oh, thank you. I always forget that, and you're not important enough for me to really.
I know,
consider,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go. So for the people watching, I'll show on video. For the people listening, I'll try to explain as best I can. So I pretty much got all of Wave 32. Finally, the pre-order from Dorkside Toys shipped out. So luckily, I did that. Here's Omega to start off. I think I got her in a halfway decent pose. What do you think about it?
There's no good handhold on that.
I know
bow.
it's so awkward. Yeah. Like
they really
focus for the visual look.
I really feel like they could have given us a closed version of that bow as well. Mm-hmm. It's not a big figure. I know they gave us the ruby and they gave us a little rebreather, but I would have easily traded in the little face mask thing for a closed version of the bow.
Yep. Or just like a hand where the split, kind of Star Trek style.
Yeah,
where the
or
split,
that.
So you can get it around the little part on the back of the bow here and have it hold easy. But beggars can be choosers.
Yeah, but choosers can be beggars, so...
I got to think about the saying before. My comprehension skills aren't top notch today.
I just mixed. I don't know if that's true. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I just said
I'll have to listen back. So next up in Wave 32, we got the Client, which I think they did a really good job making this figure. Just all the accessories. Like we've been, sometimes we kind of bash Hasbro for throwing a human figure in a box and then nothing else, like a blaster we've done 1,000 times. But the likeness is spot on. The stacks of Beskar are amazing. Like they really they could have easily given us just the Camtono and the little fob, the tracking fob, but the fact that they threw the stacks of Beskar in there, and the detailing on the Beskar is actually pretty solid. So for a $25 figure, I think this is really, really awesome. I'll set him back there. Next up, we got the Death Watch Mandalorian. I actually found this in a Walgreens. I found Death Watch and Echo in Walgreens before the pre-order shipped. So if you are in my area, at least check your Walgreens and stuff.
How's the backpack? How's the backpack on that guy? Does it come off easily?
The jetpack?
Yeah.
Yeah, super easy.
Okay, mine comes off too easily. Like it falls off all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's pretty solid. I mean, I could see why it would. Whenever I was posing him, it would fall off, so I just kind of took it off until I was done posing him. The hands on mine were really awkward.
Yeah.
Like his right hand was super like close gripped tight. So I had to really stretch out his trigger finger to get it in that.
I couldn't get the trigger finger in the hole. I didn't even bother trying.
Yeah, it's really hard. I had to. Yeah, it was difficult for sure. But once I messed around with it long enough, and next up we got Echo. Amazing figure. The fact that they gave the claw to him is amazing.
I love the back of his head helmet.
Oh, I know, it's great.
It's the fact that the helmet kind of comes apart so it can incorporate the back of his head into it, just like in the show. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember everybody was really intrigued how Hasbro was going to pull this off. Like, are they just going to ignore Echo so they don't have to do that?
Nope,
but luckily they put this little snapping mechanic.
Yeah, and snaps right on. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, and the Echo dare I say, one of my favorite figures in the line already.
Easily.
Is that that's
nope.
not a stretch? All right.
Nope.
Awesome.
Yep.
Next up, we got Ahsoka Tano. Likeness, amazing. You can get her in really awesome poses. At first, I was curious that they used the same pants as the new Boba Fett's they're making.
I was curious about that too.
But they're different. I checked it. Yep. Because they look identical, from a distance, but
they're both baggy basically.
Yeah. And they easily could have used the same pants.
Honestly, if they did a new episode 1 Darth Maul and they used her lower half, I wouldn't hate it because I think it's a better looking lower half and maybe a little bit more accurate than what they originally used and have been reusing a couple times now.
You know what I did notice between her legs and Boba Fett's legs? Because I guess I'll go ahead and say I got the throne room Boba Fett as well.
I'm jealous about that. I should have had you go really second because of that. Super jealous of that. It's okay.
This throne room Boba Fett looks amazing. And we got the removable helmet.
Yeah. I'm very interested in getting that soon, hopefully, and comparing it to my SH Figuarts version.
It's kind of, mine is like, if you look at it straight on, so this is going to be for the visual people, you can't really tell in the camera, but his upper torso is kind of like stuck in a leaning left position.
Yeah.
But it actually kind of works because he's like just in this casual pose. It's just a little awkward.
How's that black brown cool color? It's hard to tell on camera.
Yeah, it's hard to tell on camera. And they definitely like turned the brightness on their lights way, way, way up. And like oversaturated it or something because the color is, you can tell it's a really, really dark brown.
Okay.
In the right lighting, but it's just dark enough to where it almost looks like it's black also. So I think the color is super awesome. Another thing I noticed that's different with his legs and Ahsoka's legs are he has thigh swivel like down in the mid thigh right here. And Ahsoka's doesn't, which I thought that was kind of...
What? Ahsoka has thigh swivel?
Well, no, it's different though.
I mean, it's up on the top.
Yeah, it's up on the top of like the hip. But Boba Fett's is literally, I wonder if you can see it, it's like down here. Like that's where the swivel is, see?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just because she has smaller legs, because hers are like up here closer to her butt.
Yeah, hers is like connected to it's like way up there.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a neat little difference. I'm just surprised they didn't. I'm surprised they didn't use the same legs, and I'm
glad they didn't. A lot of people are mad at Hasbro for reusing stuff all over the place, but it's nice to acknowledge the fact that where we all see they could have, and it would have been awful, and they chose not to. So I feel like we should give credit to Hasbro for making a choice that was sensible, I guess.
Yeah. But this Boba Fett is definitely, it's already one of my favorite Boba Fetts. It's so worth it, the throne room Boba
Is it
Fett.
worth the $30? Is it worth the...
To me, it was absolutely worth the $30. This is like my definitive Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett,
right.
you know, and like that era of Boba Fett. It's super awesome, in my opinion. So that does it for my fine editions. Figured I'd close it out with that awesome new Boba Fett. So what you got?
Yeah. Well, first, I guess we'll start this in chronological order. I got Boss, finally. And I actually posted a little mini review
go big?
For him. Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, this is better than just doing super small. I can make all the people watching squint. Okay, there we go.
Right.
So, yeah, I got Boss. And I love him. I love his stance. I don't care that he is a hunter reuse. I think he looks great. I think
he looks super cool just standing on the shelf.
Yes, I can't wait to get the rest of those for sure. And then Papa Gord came through with my 212th. So I got my 212th right there. So that was a lot of fun. And then just like you, I got...
There it is.
I got my Dorkside Toys box here full of... What is this? Wave 30, 32, 30...
32.
A billion?
I think so,
I don't know.
anyways, right?
I have no idea, honestly. I don't even know how people come up with those numbers because there's definitely been more than 32 waves of Black Series figures, guys. Like, this line's been going since 2013. Like, where are you counting that 32 from? From the beginning of Phase 3? Like, there's been 32 waves since Phase 3? Like, I don't know. Anyways. But yeah, so it's full of, there's 8 figures in there. So we got a couple doubles. Got doubles of Ahsoka, got doubles of Echo, and we got doubles of the Death Watch Commando, but, I mean... That's a troop builder, so like, now you just got 2. I guess you might have 3, huh?
Well, there's 2 local guys, one that lives in, and then one that lives in the city I currently live in, Louisville, and the one that lives in Bowling Green. So I reached out to them and hooked them up with all the doubles. So I don't have 2 of any of these. So I don't have 2 Death Watch Mandalorians, but I considered it, but I was like, I really only need 1 because we still have that old Django body one, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's terrible.
It looks fine on the, I know, it still looks fine sitting on the shelf next to him. So I was like, that's good enough for my shelf. My Clone Wars shelf was really packed.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, starting with kind of like my least favorite to most favorite, we do have same thing as you, starting with the Omega, because that's how she says it.
That's how she says it.
That's how she says it, so I'll say it too. And I do love with the little ruby that she comes with, and it's actually got some articulation, which is kind of fun. It's got 1 point, but it moves, which is more than I expected, I suppose.
Oh yeah, didn't it grab her the little bird lizard thing she comes with?
So we got that. Next, again, just like you, doing the Werner Herzog. This, and I've got it holding the Camtono too. I just thought that was kind of fun.
You have it closed. I have mine open, showing the Beskar.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want the Beskar sliding out. And I don't know. Like, I feel like he's gonna walk around with it closed anyway. So, but it's a great likeness. When I did a live stream on my channel. Last night, so it'd be Wednesday night for the people listening, because this comes out, during the weekend or whatever. Yeah. So when I say last night, I mean Wednesday night. But I unboxed all these on stream, and it was fun, kind of giving my discovering things about them, giving my thoughts, and as I was opening this, I'm like, it's just an old man action figure. It's the same as if they had given us like a Senator Palpatine. I'm not even talking like the Emperor or Sidious.
Yeah, just like
I'm
Senator.
Saying, if they gave us a Senator Palpatine, it's not like I wouldn't buy it, because of course I would. But you're just buying an action figure of an old man.
I mean, that's Tarkin. Tarkin was home.
Same thing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. So there is at some level where I can appreciate how good he looks, and I love the character, and I love Werner Herzog, but he's just an old guy, It's not very action figure-y worth. No kids are going to be bashing them together or whatever.
Well, I think that's what they did a good job given all the extra accessories, because we've seen a lot of times the human type characters in the Black Series can pegworm a little, because if you just give if you're just giving Holdo a little blaster.
Yeah.
You need to throw. I know in the show she probably didn't have that many accessories, or in the movie, sorry.
Well, what could you? It was same with Galen Erso coming out.
Yeah.
What can he come with?
Yeah. So they did a really good job including all those accessories to make him a little more appealing. To the on the fence purchaser, I would say.
Oh yeah, he's worth it almost for the Camtono by himself.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably pay $25 for a Camtono, and that's embarrassing, but it's true.
Yeah, and I kind of agree. So yeah, we got Werner Herzog's The Client, and again, anyone from Lucasfilm, Jon Favreau, you watching? Give this asshole a name. Just give him a name. Name him anything. I don't care. He could have the dumbest name in the world. They gave Palpatine the first name of Sheev, and that's one of the dumbest names I could ever think of.
It's awful. I've never referred to him as Sheev.
No, and I never will. I find the people that do are usually like in their 20s or younger, and because that's like all they've known. But growing up, it's just Palpatine. He's just Palpatine. Just call him Palpatine. Yeah. But yeah, give the client a name. He needs a name. Next,
I'm name him Werner. You know what
Werner,
I mean?
Yeah,
Werner,
just
right?
Werner, yeah. Or because sometimes they do. Well, they'll do the name backwards. So like you could just like Herzog but backwards, or Werner backwards, and just go. Like I said,
I don't have the brain power right now to think of what.
Me neither.
That is.
I can type it out and have to read it backwards. But they did that with Nick Gillard, who's the lightsaber fight choreographer. They put him as the Jedi lightsaber trainer, and they just put his name backwards. Yeah. It's Sin Gerlag or whatever.
Well, how do you spell his last name, Herzog? Is it U or E?
Herzog. So
it'd be Gosre.
Gosra.
Okay. Gosra.
It's fine. Gosra. Just call him Gosra. Gos for short. Call him Gos. I don't care. just call him something. But yeah, so next I've got Ahsoka.
Are we having a pose off right now?
I guess we have to. I just put her in the most neutral lightsaber pose I could do, because I didn't want the lightsabers taking up too much room when I had them posed for the photography. But I have to say, her likeness to Rosario Dawson's Ahsoka Tano is insane, dude. Incredible. It's such a good likeness. I love this figure so much.
And the sabers, like how awesome the sabers are. They're not like some like. I think the color on the sabers is really nice.
No, it's a good color.
If you put that bright white light on them, you get nice. Like the if you're watching right now.
Yep.
You can see on my screen, but they did a really good job not making it sort of like a cheap translucent looking, like kind of like some of the early blue Black Series lightsabers were, like the original Obi-Wan saber, maybe. I'm trying to think.
Absolutely.
You just kind of see completely through it almost. They did a really good job. I was kind of nervous before she was officially revealed, that's kind of how it would be, just be a clear lightsaber. But I'm glad we got
it's always hard to tell from those pictures, like we kind of talked about. And it's one of the things we're curious about, that the Sergeant Creel or whatever, the stormtrooper guy coming out, is that color what we're going to get? Because whatever that color is fantastic. But
that
next
neon green type.
Yeah, that neon green looks so good. But yeah, next we've got the Death Watch Commando, and I absolutely love this figure. Like I said, I just pushed this in as hard as I could, and now it seems to stay. Before, I could not get it to stay in. Like doing this, it would easily fall out. So now I've got it going. I got his hip kind of cocked. Like I love everything about how this guy poses. I love the little holster on the side there for the blaster. Another interesting thing I've discovered is underneath the helmet, there isn't actually a face under there like there is on Stormtroopers. It's like
molded together.
It's molded. Yep. Yeah. It's molded to look like there is, but there isn't really a face there. So very interested. Super happy that we have 100% brand new body. Even even the backpack is new. Even though it looks like Jango Fett's backpack, it's multiple pieces because each jet is individual, like they move. And you can clearly tell that the backpack has a front and a back that was kind of snapped together. So it's not all just one piece like it was with Jango's backpack. So
about this figure, I do have I have a theory or a conspiracy. Well, no, it'd be more of a theory. So what if they didn't? Because for the clones, it's clearly it's that sculpt,
right?
But what if this is a Gar Saxon sculpt, but they molded it together so you couldn't pull the helmet off and tell what's coming out soon?
Oh man, that would be interesting.
Right.
But no, it's clearly molded in there. It's not glued.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so what if
I wouldn't mind if they used this body forward for any Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, this needs to be the body going forward. If they release that Jango body again, I don't care what it is, I'm not buying that figure.
I kind of agree.
I'm gonna
even as a completionist, even as a completionist,
if they don't use this, right?
Yeah, I will riot. I will make a personal riot. That's what I'll do.
They need to do what Funko Pop does and vault, put things in the vault, put the Jango body in the vault, lock it, and throw away the key and forget
never
the
see it
password.
again. Never see it again.
With this thing, this dude is insane. He's insane.
But yeah, I love everything about it. I just noticed that on his the right little thruster, he has this extra weird piece of plastic. Does yours have flashing like that on yours? Or is it part of the mold? Oh no, it just came off. Oh, weird.
Yeah, mine's all silver.
Okay. Yeah, I had this little extra piece of plastic that was stuck on there, and it just peeled off. So I don't know. All right. Well, now it looks good.
Hey, I have a comment. Hey, show me your gun position. I mean, the blaster, how he's holding the blaster. You know what helped me? I have realized it. Put the thumb above, like how Boba Fett holds it. Put the thumb above the base right there. I don't know if you can tell. See where that little thumb clip, how you would cock a handgun. You know what I'm talking about? Put his thumb right under that, and then you should be able to get the trigger finger in there. Because that was confusing me also.
Yeah, I'll do that later. I kind of like the pose he's got going on. It's more of a casual, kind of standing there instead of ready to shoot it. But I'll play around with that off podcast. I'll hit you up. But then lastly, of course, no surprise here, we've got Echo, who's easily my favorite of the bunch.
Oh, he's so good.
So good. Love the helmet. Love the way the helmet fits around his head. I love that you can clearly see the back of the head still. Love the backpack. Comes off super easily. And I love his little scomp link on his arm. That is his arm, basically. I think it works so well. Oh, you're just knocking everything over. Oh, no.
So are you going to pose him without the arm and the helmet? Or
I'm not going to put the arm on just because I like the scomp link look. I think that's kind of a fun defining feature of him. And right now, with the exception of Wrecker, who's wearing his helmet Wrecker style, the rest of my figures are helmeted. Mostly because tech. I don't like having tech without a helmet because I don't like having tech without glasses.
Yeah.
I cannot believe Hasbro made a tech without glasses.
Yeah. All of mine are helmeted except I really love the sculpt on Echo and then the whole head, the silver detailing in the head.
The pastiness, they nailed as well. Absolutely.
He's the only one I think I'm going to display helmetless.
Well, do you want to hear a really sad story? Like a really, really sad story?
You already told me in the Patreon intro about your grandma, but go ahead.
This is sadder to some people because anyone can feel this pain. So, in anticipation of getting these Black Series figures and completing Clone Force 99, finally having Echo and Omega and being able to have them all, I pulled the other the Bad Batch figures off the shelf and put them on my little like my little display area over here. You're just knocking. I can hear it. I can hear him tumbling.
I know.
And anyways, so I had Crosshair with his sniper rifle, taken apart and stored on his backpack. And I thought, if I'm going to be taking pictures of him, I want him with the sniper rifle out. So I was putting the sniper rifle back together, and the whole thing just snapped. Like I was pressing, and it wasn't going in flush. So I kept pressing harder, and just snapped it in half. So I panicked, because that's like who Crosshair is. Like a Crosshair without a sniper rifle. A Crosshair without a sniper rifle, it sucks. So
this is the good version of him, right?
This is the good version of him. This is the clone, the Bad Batch version of him.
I mean, he was still a douchebag, right? He was still a douche, but this is the pre, I'm a bad guy now.
Yeah, well, thankfully he was saved by the Imperial version, but not by my Imperial version. So back when that came out, I ordered 2 to get free shipping from Walmart, and I put the other one in with my little storage area for a future giveaway I'll do at some point. Kind of stockpile extra figures. That's where the extra figures from my box are going for a future giveaway. And I thought to myself, okay, I guess I'm going to take that sniper rifle. I did try to glue the other sniper rifle together. I haven't even looked at it. I set it across in the background over there, and it's still drying. But it was sad. Man. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't really care, because at some point either someone's gonna want the Imperial one without the sniper rifle, or they're okay that we'll never go back together, or it's glued together and will never come apart. I figure if I'm giving it away, it's not that big of a deal. I won't sell it to anybody, but hopefully there's someone out there that will still want it whenever I do a giveaway. But he donated his perfectly good sniper rifle to my Crosshair, because they're the same sniper rifle. It's not different.
Yeah.
So thankfully I fixed it, but there was a moment there where just deep ingrained sadness just happened to me, because my big old gorilla hands snapped those. So now I'm never taking them apart. I remember when I took it apart, it was really hard to get apart, and I was worried I was going to break it just pulling it apart. And then I did break it putting it back together. So basically, this is a warning to anyone. If you have Crosshair and you've never taken the gun apart, I just recommend don't. Just let it be a gun, and just be okay with it as a gun. Don't worry about taking it apart and storing it, because you don't want to end up like me. Or you could just take better care of your figures and be more gentle when you try to put them back together, I guess. Either
don't
way.
Break things, Mike.
I can't not break things, man. I'm like half gorilla. I've got this big gorilla strength. I'm hairy. I just manhandle stuff, But yeah, that
is sad. That
was my sad, scary story. But it had a happy ending, thankfully, for me. Just not for whoever was eventually gonna get my Imperial Crosshair.
It's true.
I'm just glad I had a donor version.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Yeah.
I do believe you have one more item you want to show off.
Do I?
Per my request. Last week.
Oh, are we
talking?
talking?
Request last week.
What? No, I don't remember at all.
You said you were going to show your. You bet. Yeah, I know you remember.
No, I don't. I literally don't. I have no memory of what you're talking about. You should have reminded me before we're doing this.
Your the lightsaber you built.
Oh, right.
Last week you said you'd get it.
Because I got it out of my closet and I put batteries in it.
Do you got? He doesn't have it handy, so I got a one-man solo this while Mike grabs the saber.
Oh, he's back. 30 seconds. It's right here.
He's back.
Yeah, this is my lightsaber that I built back in 2019. So
look at that.
Yeah, the whole thing. This comes off. It makes a little noise when you take it off and put it on. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's got the noise, it's got the light, and the light, it goes on and off. Like, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Works better at nighttime. The whole thing comes off. Like, it's a little bulkier than if you bought a lightsaber from like one of the Force Elite ones, or whatever they're doing now, because it has like a whole removable
system inside.
Yeah. And if you
is that the one you can buy the different color crystals?
Yes,
right?
and that's what I'm taking apart here to kind of
cool.
show off. So I guess this is more for people who are watching than listening. You can listen to me take apart my lightsaber here. But what's kind of cool is if you go to Disneyland, you can, like, all these parts are interchangeable. Basically, this is the core right here, and you've got your little crystal that kind of sits in there, and you can get different color crystals. I've got a purple one. They've got blue, black, red, orange, yellow, whatever. Get it back in there here.
So can you buy those crystals online, or are they only in the park?
I mean, I've never checked online.
I like the sound it makes when you're putting the crystal in there.
Mm-hmm. I know you definitely can in the park, and you can buy as many crystals as you want, and
how much are
easily
the
swap them out.
Know?
I think they're $20. I don't think they're that expensive. You know, it's not expensive especially for what it is, but $20 isn't awful.
I feel like you should be able to buy that like on Disney Shop, right? Like you would have to. Like
yeah, but I think it's kind of a blind bag kind of situation where you can't.
So you can't pick.
Yeah. Trying to remember which side goes on which, because it's definitely keyed. There we go. So we got the this, and it makes this noise if it's not all the way together.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Trying to remember how this goes. I think it goes like that, and it twists on. And we got the bottom, and we'll screw that on. And I bought a little. I feel like I'm building it. Yeah, I bought a little belt clip so I can.
Oh, cool.
Clip it onto my belt, which is kind of neat. That one goes there.
Do you feel like you're playing Fallen Order, like VR, like real
a little
life
bit?
Mode right
and
now,
what you can actually do in Fallen Order is they have all the pieces they sell at Disneyland, so you can build your lightsaber in Fallen Order if you want to. And then if you go buy multiples of these, like all the parts are interchangeable, so you can, like, I can get another lightsaber and then kind of build my own different lightsaber out of the different parts if I want to. But this is my lightsaber, which is pretty cool. You know, it's one that I built really awesome. Using. You choose, what is it? You choose the different, like there's like 4 or 5 or 6 different styles. One for like kind of Darth Vader-ish looking one for like a Jedi looking one for like an Old Republic kind of organic looking one. I can't remember what the other ones are. And then they give you 2 choices each. Like there's 2 emitters, there's 2 pommels, there's 2 grips, there's 2 whatever this part is, so you kind of choose which one you want, and you can kind of mix and match them. So I mix and match. They all kind of obviously go together, and they're themed to go together, but you can mix and match it however you want. So I kind of mixed and matched this one, which I think was Justice and Peace, which was the style on this one.
So you're a good guy.
So yeah, you build this. And then you put it in this little hole, which basically just has the lightsaber blade in there. And then when you turn it on, it illuminates this long kind of, I guess, cutout in the table, and then it opens up and you pull your lightsaber out of it, and you raise it up, and like Yoda's talking while this is happening, and it's got the Star Wars music, you know, kind of swelling, and it's very emotional. It's very intense. I got goosebumps doing it. I'm like, this is intended for kids. Like, but I'm raising my lightsaber I just built in the air. Like, this is a really cool kind of feeling.
Yep. I am ready. I am going to go hopefully sooner than later.
100% worth doing. I mean, it's $200 is expensive, but the lightsaber,
the experience, the saber.
Yeah,
you buy the saber for $175 anyways. So the experience of building it and going through the whole, thing, and then it's super worth it. And I'd be mad though if I bought a random box of a crystal and then I got the same color.
Yeah, I mean, and those crystals also, because you can get holocrons from there as well, and the crystals go in the holocrons and they make different sounds depending on the crystal that's in there. Things like cool. That. Yeah,
that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that is fine additions there. But overall, what do we think of? This is the first, I would say, the first official wave of 2022. Because the last one with Boba Fett, Tython, all that stuff, it was kind of like a in between. Some people got it in 2021. A lot of people got it in 2022. But to me, this wave is, hey, it's 2022, new year, new me, new wave. What do we think of the first official, like, wide release wave of 2022?
This might be one of, like, is it too soon to say this might be one of the best overall waves they've come out with in a really long time? I can't think of the last time where every single figure in a wave has been like an absolute hit. And every time that, like, mainline, waves are always really awesome. But
yeah,
I think it's a great wave, and I'm glad people are actually getting them. It seems like, I don't know if the shipping crisis is finally coming to an end, but because we're getting a lot of things now.
Yeah.
That we're on
pre-order. I told a bunch of people when I was opening these up, I had a lot of people saying, well, not a lot of people, but I had some people saying, oh, how did you get these already? They're not supposed to come out till 2023. I'm like, well, Hasbro has said that they've been overestimating their shipping.
Yeah.
This isn't like they're trying to bait and switch people. If you want something, pre-order it. They don't ship. They don't charge until it ships. Most good places don't charge until it ships. So Dorkside, this case cost me $200 for 8 figures. They didn't charge me until it shipped. So it's not like I had my $200 tied up for that whole time. And now I don't have to worry about going out. I don't have to worry about hunting. I've just got them. All the cool kids just buy figures by the case now because it's just so much easier to do.
Yeah, and you're going to get it quicker if you order the case because they don't have to unpack it and individually, repack it and ship it to you.
I learned my lesson last time, back when the Galaxy packaging first came out, that first wave. They did not Toy Galaxy. Wow, that's a different person. Dorkside Toys. They only put up the individual listing of figures, and I panicked, and I just bought exactly what I knew a case would be, hoping that whoever was packing my figures could see that and just send me a case, because it costs the same to do either, and they didn't have a listing for the case at the time. Eventually they did, but I had everything listed individually, and it took them a year to send me those figures. In fact, eventually I just canceled it and ordered it from a full case as a case from Entertainment Earth because it was taking them so long to send me those figures that I had ordered individually. But since then I've switched to just buying cases and I've gotten them way sooner. Like before most people are even getting theirs, Dorkside's like, oh, here's your case, So to me, and pretty much for the future of me buying things, I don't care what's a repack in there. Like I can always sell the extras or use the extras for a giveaway. I'm just gonna buy the case because it's so much better. The experience is way better for doing that.
I think I'm buying cases, full cases going forward.
There we go.
And I think the reason I say this might be one of the best like overall like waves they've done is because in the case you get 2 of the armor building Mandalorians.
Yep.
And you get 2 Echoes and 2 Ahsokas.
Yes.
Right. So,
both popular characters, which is great.
Yeah. So, I just think. Well, actually, wait. I can't even remember. Hang on.
No, it's 2 Echoes, 2 Ahsoka, and 2
Echoes,
Death
2
Watch.
Ahsokas, and 2
Death
Mandos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right.
Yep.
And the fact that they double packed the most popular 3 of the wave is like just a great choice by Hasbro because I thought that they would probably double pack like the Client for some reason.
The Client and Omega.
Like they've done that where they put Lando in like back-to-back cases and like
it is
like,
interesting that he was one of the
this?
figures that was double packed in the wave he came out in. That was a weird choice. I don't remember the breakdown of that case. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, I don't remember it off the top of my head. But the fact that they chose those 3 since they're the most popular to double pack those, it's gonna allow people who want them to get the figure and hopefully in the secondary market. They don't go crazy, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So and those. And the Echo and Ahsoka are just top-notch figures, in my opinion. And the Death Watch Mandalorian with that new mold is insane. And I'm just, like, completely in love with the Wave. And it only it shipped in one day. Like, the day it shipped, I got it the very next day, which was insane.
That's great. Well, that's because you're a lot sooner. But even mine was sooner. Yeah. Mine shipped on Wednesday of last week, and I got the email saying, "Oh, it's going to be there on Sunday." I'm like, "Well, that's Easter Sunday. There's no way I'm going to get this on Easter Sunday." But it came the day after, you know, so it wasn't that far off, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, mine shipped Thursday, and then it said it was going to be delivered Friday. Then it said it was going to be delivered Saturday. Then it got delivered on Friday. So literally just a day later, and I think they shipped out of Memphis. So it makes sense that I would get it like that next day. But it's kind of insane that they can just do that, just get it to you in one day.
It's really nice, yeah. They definitely went super quick with these, which is real nice. Yeah,
you got that case breakdown.
I'm looking for it. I had to go. I'm on Entertainment Earth right now to see. Because you have to go to a place that's selling the case to see what's in it. That's the easiest way I find, anyway.
Let's see here.
But I guess Dorkside wasn't selling that case anymore, so they don't have it listed. I guess I could go look back at my order history because I bought.
Yeah, I wonder what Big Bad Toy Store, if Big Bad Toy Store has it.
Yeah, I wonder what people's different kind of go-tos for, because mine's definitely in that order. I go Dorkside and Entertainment Earth for buying stuff like this. Big Bad Toy Store I usually do for things that I don't super care about, but I want to get them because they can just sit in my pile of loot for a while.
This case was really good. We had the Hoth Trooper, Clone Trooper, Incinerator Trooper, Armorer.
Yeah, that was the second wave of Galaxy figures.
Yeah, and then the Endor Trio and Cad Bane.
Yeah.
I feel like we need an episode where we rank all the cases, maybe, or something.
We could definitely do that.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I got into not an argument, but like a disagreement, I suppose.
Is this it right here? We got Aura Singh, Lando.
That's it.
Yeah, and then Tech, Zero, and Costco Reeves. That's a set of 5. I wonder who were double packed in that, though. Did it just come with... It wouldn't have just come with 5, would it have? I don't think I didn't order that case, so I don't...
I guess I didn't order that case. I think I ordered mine. Oh, I ordered mine all individually from Hasbro Pulse is what happened there. That's why I can't find the case in my order history. That's what happened with that one. But yeah, I think I feel like double packing Lando was probably not the best one, but a couple figures from that wave are still shelf warming that aren't Lando, because I've seen RS
I mean,
Singh
you can
on the
literally
show.
get Costco Reeves for a really good deal.
Costco Reeves, and I think they
now.
they repacked what's her face in that as well. Costco Reeves' other Mandalorian person,
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan. So they repacked her in it and released Costco Reeves in it. So, they're those. And I think right now, if you go to like Dorkside, they have a special for, I think it's like $50 where you can get Costco Reeves, Bo-Katan, and
I saw that
Commander Cody, which is actually, I think, a pretty good deal.
That's an insane deal. If you don't have any of those 3, I think that's a super awesome deal, in my opinion.
Now it's $40. $40 for those 3 figures, and they're great figures.
That's less than 15 each. So after shipping, you're probably doing 15 or 16 each. That's actually insane.
Yep,
that's really
especially for a popular character like Cody.
Yeah, and you get Bo-Katan and Costco Reeves. Like, are you kidding me? Like, those are must-haves in my opinion.
Easily,
that body mold is an amazing figure.
Agreed. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think they're definitely Echo and the Death Watch are standouts for just being cool looking toys. The Werner Herzog, what I really want to know is what Olympic sport did he get his gold medal in? Because he has this fun little Imperial gold medal.
Yeah, I would assume maybe like taking over some land, like killing enough rebels, maybe.
Like it's like Ewok chucking.
Like, Ewok chucking.
Like how far can you shot put a Jawa, kind of thing. Like
maybe he's a barbecue master and he barbecues the best Wookiee or something.
Could be, yeah, could be.
But yeah, we didn't see Tarkin with that gold chain, that's for sure.
No. So far, he's the only one that has the gold medal in whatever Imperial sport he competed in.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a Wookiee barbecuing.
All right, I don't know. I don't think barbecuing is an Olympic sport, but and there's a big but. It should be.
They have contests though. They
have competitions but it's not an Olympic level competition for cooking. But Olympics would be a lot cooler if they did. So I'm not poo-pooing your idea. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not a real thing, but it would be better if it were.
You could maybe you could compete, like you could do a fast, and then whenever you finish the fast, compete in the,
how much you can eat.
4-hour contest.
Yeah.
But I think that about does it. You have any overall thoughts for Wave 32 you wanna throw out there real quick?
I mean, everything is original parts, which is super nice. Omega, the client. Even for the most part, I haven't checked the regular Echo, but I'm pretty sure even this plastic comma is original. I don't think it's exactly like the
other. It looks different from right here because I don't remember the others having.
Yeah, even I like his knees having those big kind of bulky knee pads and stuff like that. So lots of great, original, very minimal reuse, great paint apps. Fantastic sculpts.
Across the board on the entire wave, it's really awesome.
The only thing I really kind of wish they'd done, Ahsoka should have come with some kind of like cloak thing. Mm-hmm. And I know our pals over Out of the Basement use Ray's, I believe, cloak to kind of do that, and you can easily do that. It works. It's a great idea.
And I don't think my Ray is wearing her cloak.
Mine is.
Yeah, she's not, so I can temporarily do that.
Yeah.
But.
And I wish they'd done a couple different things with Omega, especially in regards to that bow.
The hand should have had the Star Trek hand, like I said.
Yeah, they could have had the hand with the split there, so you could put it in between. They could have given us a closed version of the bow to kind of go on our back or whatever. Little things like that would have been pretty cool. But I will say, now that we have this is just one step away from giving us Daniel Logan Boba Fett.
Yep.
Yep. We could. It's the same body practically, because this isn't inherently boy or girl body. It's a kid body. Mm-hmm. So you put a Daniel Logan head on that, and you got yourself a stew.
I think I saw. Who was it? It was Instagram or Twitter. I can't remember. I wish I could shout him out. But they took that body, and it might have been painted. I can't remember. But they just put the Django helmet on it, and like he's playing with it, and it's a little kid.
Was it Yak Face, or was it? No, I think it was Forlom.
Yak Face might have retweeted it.
No, I think it was the Zuckus to Forlom, the Forlom, or Forlom from Forlom to Zuckus.
Yeah, but that's a great idea. You just put the Jango Fett helmet on it, and then it looks like a little kid Boba playing around.
Maybe not. Nope, maybe it wasn't him. I remember seeing it too, and that's kind of what I was thinking of. That's not that far off, so it's kind of cool. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I think it's and I'm not gonna look too hard, but yeah. So very, very easy to turn that into a Boba Fett, and honestly, I don't care if they reuse it just to do that. I think that's a good
definitely
idea.
not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they can give him some like accessories he had in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I think he had a poncho too. Give him a little Jango Fett helmet so he can hold it. There's a lot of things you can do there. Yep. I definitely dig it, and I don't
give
honestly
him a little
think
voice box that says Tonwee's here, something like that.
Dad, Tonwee's here.
Yeah, like that.
Yep.
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 And then his little laugh whenever I think Django.
When
he was got him. Yeah, that little laugh when they're in the ship. I think we got him, and he's like, hey, or something like that.
Yeah. It was kind of a 9 laugh. It was like,
yeah, except 9-year-old kid version.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Echo for me is the standout. I think Death Watch Commander looks cool. I honestly could gush over him for a while. The reviews sort of just write themselves. Very, very little that I wish they had done differently or changed. I think Hasbro genuinely knocked this out of the park. I guess the only thing I kind of wish they'd done is I prefer it when cases are packed with 8 fresh new figures instead of 5 new figures and 3 repacks. Just because I feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of that instead of buying
for sure
5 figures and 3 to either sell or give away or something because it's just more work. But either way, I think it's good. Good job, Hasbro. You did it. You done good.
And if you're gonna repack figures, they take, like I said, they picked the 3
they
that
picked
you
the
should.
3.
They picked the 3 appropriate ones. So.
Absolutely.
So big shout out to Hasbro. This is an amazing assortment of figures.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we can really wring out of this Wave 32 discussion here.
I think so. I think we've run that well dry.
We only have one other thing in the docket, and that comes not even from Star Wars news, but earlier this week, Hasbro had a Marvel Legends fan first stream, and one of the things they announced for that is going to affect all of Hasbro's products pretty much.
Yes.
And that is new, entirely cardboard packaging for their Marvel Legends without any windows. It's just a picture of the toy on the box. And they said that this is pretty much going to happen in the entire line.
Yep.
So there are fans who are understandably upset about it, especially in-box collectors. Totally get it. And there are other fans who just don't care. Or maybe even actually like it. So where do you stand on that?
So just in case you live under a rock and you don't realize the community battling each other like they're over indoor in spaceships.
That's just a normal day now collecting Black Series.
Yes, it is. But my thoughts on it are, I personally don't like it. I mean, I get the reasons why. Like, it's going to save them a ton of money in plastic production. It's going to help the environment with less plastic waste. But personally, if I don't keep a box, I recycle it. So I'm not contributing to this issue. So don't come at me, environmentalists. But the reason I don't like
him, Adam. Everyone, environmentalists at him.
The reason I'm not a fan of, I mean, it's not going to affect my collection at all because if they start going windowless, like, I don't collect in box. I mean, I buy some doubles, like this stuff that I think like the box look cool, like the Phantom Menace, Clone Wars stuff, and the special stuff. But they can easily do special stuff, just like have the Dave Filoni slide thing.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I don't think things like that you collect are really going to change either, because the packaging there is part of the figure, and even at the same time that Hasbro was showing off the windowless packaging, they had 2 other Marvel figures that still use plastic. They had the classic Spider-Man lizard. And they had the first edition Marvel Legends Toad, which still they utilize kind of the same kind of blister card dynamic.
Yeah,
and
the card with a little bubble,
I genuinely don't think those will change because that bubble is part of that aesthetic.
That's what I think. That's the big thing all the vintage collection fans are hoping for, because because we can't have a retro line part of the Black Series if there's not plastic in it. I mean, you could do like the card and then like a little cardboard coffin with the figure in it, but that's just kind of odd in my opinion, I guess. Yeah. So who knows what they're going to do going forward. But the reason I'm not a fan of it is, and I feel like I could be a person that says, I collect out of box, so I don't care. But I'm not going to do that. I think my argument is, I just feel so bad for all of the inbox collecting community because we are like one big collecting community. So I'm just gonna like represent their side. Like if you're an inbox collector and they go full cardboard, like for mainline figures, and like that Spider-Man, it is just in the box. If you collect inbox figures, what's the point in displaying the figure if you can't see the actual figure? So
to be fair though, a lot of inbox collections I've seen, especially with Black Series, the boxes are all turned to their side and all you see is the side of the box with the number on it.
Well, that is fair. And
it's not different.
Another fair thing is that all the old vintage collection, like vehicles and stuff that people keep sealed, you can't see in those.
You can't see that either. Yeah.
But I think the majority of inbox collections are either like up on the wall or they're, displayed like showing. Because I've seen a lot of people they take a tack and they take the hook, on the top of the box and they hang it and they're all sort of neat. So, it's literally gonna be like, I wish I had a box. You know what? It's gonna right here. Like, hey man, look at this cool new Ahsoka toy I got. You want to see what it looks like? Let me pull up this picture on Google for you, because you can't see the actual figure, whenever you're showing it off. I just think it kind of takes the, if you're an inbox collector, I wouldn't personally buy it anymore. Like if they make a special thing and you can't see the figure, like if it's on a card in a little cardboard coffin, I'm probably not going to buy that and display it. I'm going to buy it and open it, But I think they should try to do something like they did with the Dave Filoni. Just have it slide so when you want to look at it, you can, and you put it just back on the thing, kind of how I have, right up there.
I think that's a good solution.
I stand on it.
I'm kind of the opposite of you. I don't care less, and I could not care less what they sell me a toy in. If they had them all in just a plain cardboard, like kind of like their army builders for Marvel Legends and stuff, or like back in the day, I shipped I got the mail away Kellogg Han Solo Stormtroopers, the very first original Power of the Force 2 mail away figure, and it came in like a white cardboard box. I was so disappointed. I mean, I was gonna open it anyway, but I thought it would come in a card and stuff. It just came in like a plain white cardboard box, and he was in a bag. But if that's how Hasbro sold them, I would still buy them because I opened everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could not care personally about the boxes. Like, sure, are they nice? Yes. Do they look cool? Yes. But I buy the toys for the toys. I don't buy them for that. And on some level, I fundamentally don't understand people that buy these and don't open them. Like, you're buying a toy and you're just keeping it in the package. Like, it's just so weird. It's like buying a car and just never driving it. Like, I don't get the mindset that people have. And if you're like that, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. You collect how you want, you buy how you want, you display how you want. I'm just talking about me personally. I would never even consider doing that, because if I'm buying a toy, I want to experience that toy, not just with my eyeballs and looking at it. I want to touch it. I want to play with it. I want to maneuver it. I want to pose it. I want to put all the different accessories. Like why bother putting articulation on figures if you're never going to open it up? If they're just little statues to you in a plastic prison, like what's the point? I just don't get those people. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to feel bad for those people now that Hasbro's basically just taking away that plastic window into a box that they were never going to open in the first place. Like, I feel like if just looking at a figure is what you are really paying for the experience of, maybe you should get out of collecting. Like, maybe this is a good out for you. Maybe you can go put your money into something that does bring you joy then, because this is changing. This is done. This is how it is now. I don't know. Like, I don't really appreciate closed box collections. If your toy room looks like a toy store, I don't know. It's just, that's not how I would collect, is really all I'll say. Because I don't want to be too down on it. Because again, people can collect how they want. I'm never going to go to their house and being like, how dare you do that? Like, I don't really care what you do with your collection. But for me, I don't care about this at all. They could put it in a brown paper bag and put that on the shelf, and I would still buy it. I've seen a lot of people, making jokes like, "Oh, they've got an all plastic figure, but they're shaving off a little plastic to try to save the earth or whatever." But that joke is funny on a surface level, but there's two flaws with that argument. Number one, people don't usually throw away their toys; they do throw away the packaging. So less plastic waste, and cardboard waste and plastic waste have two different completely methods of recycling. It's one is much easier to recycle than the other. It's good to take out plastic, especially disposable plastic, and not plastic that you're going to keep on a shelf and appreciate or whatever. Yeah. Number two, that small bit of plastic compounded over thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of toys adds up real fast. It's like when people joke about going to McDonald's and, ordering a Big Mac or whatever, but then a Diet Coke. Like it still makes sense to do. I know you got a lot of calories with that Big Mac, but not adding more calories on top of it with a extra large Coke or whatever does actually make sense, because Diet Coke 0 calories or whatever. So it's funny to kind of look at, it's kind of hypocritical. It is, but also it isn't. Like shaving off calories, shaving off plastic is not a bad thing. It's never a bad thing to try to be more environmentally conscientious, I guess.
Yep.
It's inherently good. And I've always said, because a lot of corporations and stuff have kind of put recycling and being better with the environment on us as consumers, as if we're the problem, when in reality, our carbon footprints are microscopic compared to the carbon footprint of like Hasbro and how much materials they waste and how much their factories are putting, out. Like it's not us. It's not you and me who are poisoning rivers and oceans and stuff like that with our toxic waste sludges and manufacturing. It's the corporations who are doing it, but then they put it on us like, we should be better at taking care of the environment when it's them that's doing it. And to me, I see this as Hasbro just trying to take a step in that direction, and does it save them money? Sure. There could be multiple things. There could be multiple reasons, not just one reason why they're doing it. It could be good for the environment. It can save them money. Sure. Like it can all be true. They could be altruistic about it. They could do it for monetary reasons. Doesn't make the other reasons not true,
Yep. I'll say I think I obviously appreciate like inbox collections more than you do.
Yeah.
Since you said, and I think just a lot of those people like they really like the visual, I guess the aesthetic of it more than anything, the aesthetic of looking at figures. But I think they should have went with like a more middle ground, like have kind of how we do the comic book figures. Where you have you open it and there's just do like the plastic little sheet or something, and then
kind of like the Skywalker Strikes, where it kind of opened up and there was just a figure there. Yeah,
and then but find a way to get rid of all that plastic, the shell, that the figures come in. Just find a way to get rid of all that on the inside. I think, but I know they're going to go completely away from plastic. So
yeah,
what do you think?
Well, they have like cardboard ties and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think that they should do with packages going forward? Like, how do you think it should look like a mainline type of release? Because I know there was a Yakface tweet saying they might do a little window,
Well, they do that with Transformers. Yeah, they started doing that with Transformers back in, in Kingdom, which is the last line of Transformers they did. It had just had a little plastic window about, yay big, where you can kind of see the face of the character and like the upper chest, and that was it.
Yeah.
Then with the newer line of theirs, Legacy, they still have that window, but there's just no more plastic there, so you can kind of interact with the figure inside. And if they did that, I think I would be okay with it. I know a lot of people don't like it because it encourages things like it's easier to swap packaging, the figure swapping, or it's easier just to kind of like people are yanking the heads off figures and stuff like that. And I feel like at some point, like it's not on Hasbro to police that stuff, at some point that's kind of on the stores that it's happening in, and it's on the people that are doing it. Like just don't be a terrible person. Like, just don't do that. And I know for a fact, like, there are always bad people in the world who will do that stuff. But there's also the group of people who see that and they see the opportunity, and normally they would never do it, but they've in their head, they've done some weird mental gymnastic where they're like, well, if Hasbro didn't want me to do this, they would have packaged it differently. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do this just because I can do it. Like, they've done some weird mental gymnastics to make it okay of them stealing something out of that package just because it's easier to do now. Hasbro's asking for it, and that's not okay. Don't be a bad person. Like, it's kind of on the people to just not do that.
I think what they should do is they do the full closed box, and I think to prevent you from buying one in store that has like a swap or whatever inside of it, instead of using regular plastic tape or regular tape, they should do like some type of the holographic seal, that's like the security seal, so you can specifically tell if it's been tampered with. And if it's been tampered with, if you can see it's open, you best believe I'm going to open that top and look to see if it's the right thing. And if it is the right thing, I'll still buy it. Because I think we're finally getting out of this shipping crisis, and you can start finding figures in stores. Because I found a couple of these figures in Walgreens, before they shipped online. And so I had a ton of extras I was able to, give to my local people. So hopefully they do something like that rather than regular tape, because regular tape can be tampered with. And we've seen it, like, it looks sealed, but there's a, Jyn Erso sitting inside of a, some crate, like a Bo-Katan box or something like that.
Oh, yeah. We've seen that all the time. I've seen lots of people just randomly messing with those figure swaps, putting something completely different in. Or I've seen people defacing figures. Was it back in 2020 when they released the Domino from Deadpool 2? Someone had gone through all of the Dominoes in a Target that I was at, and they scratched out her eyes on the figure itself and on her alternate head. And it was really creepy, and definitely to me, like, that screams either I hate women or I hate black people or I hate black women. I don't know. But like, that's the only reason I could ever think of I'm going to scratch out this person's eyes, on their toy. Yeah. It's just kind of weird. It's a weird thing to do. And it was on all of them. Yeah, that's absolutely. Absolutely. That person was kind of mentally not okay. But, I get that. And even before the shipping crisis, I've pretty much been getting all my figures online anyway, with the exception of there's a couple I've gotten in store. But even those
you always
couples,
still swing by the Target and check.
I do, because it's fun to do. Yeah. But the last time I bought a Black Series figure in store was, I think it was the Kuil and Grief Karga and Moff Gideon. Every figure after that I've ordered online. I did just buy all of the new Legacy Transformers, and those are all actually closed box packaging. Yeah. I could not have those as far, for all I know. Mm-hmm. So we'll find out. But I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, honestly. I'm not going to say it's not an issue, but I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue.
For us, it's definitely not going to be. I probably won't be buying like doubles, of some of this stuff,
which is only better for your wallet,
boxes.
Honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I had an epiphany last night when I was opening these up, and it kind of came to me as I was talking about it, because someone asked me that same question on my live stream. And one of the reasons why we don't get a lot of alternate heads and hands and things like that is because Lucasfilm doesn't like the look of those alternate pieces. They don't like body parts in the packaging. They don't like the optic of it. And when figures do have those on the rare cases, they're always hidden behind the packaging, behind the covers, behind the label, whatever. They're there, but they're hidden. So you don't just see a body part kind of hanging out. So my thought was, what if this style of packaging could lead to us getting more stuff like that, because that's no longer an issue.
Alternate heads. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be. Yeah. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm just saying if that is really their reasoning, which I've heard from a lot of people, of why we don't get a lot of those in the Black Series line.
Yeah.
What if that changes now because of this? And if that does happen, I'm going to be super thankful for it personally. And that's a big if. I'm not saying, again, I don't have any insider knowledge or anything, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so. Anyways, I think this has bigger implications on vintage collection collectors than it does Black Series, because I think there's a lot more vintage collection collectors that collect in box.
Sure. And again, because that is part of the that is part of the presentation, and I get that. So for me, I do have some of the Power of the Force 2 homages, and I've got the credit collections unpackaged because that is part of that presentation. Yeah. Because it's an homage, it's a throwback to something else, and the packaging is part of it. So I get that.
Isn't that why the Black Series 3-inch line died? Because it's not quote unquote the vintage collection?
Yes, 100%. It's one of the reasons.
If they're gonna sell vintage collection without the aesthetic of it being vintage collection, are people still gonna? I know inbox collectors probably will be done. You know,
hashtag save, maybe hashtag save 375. Oh no, hashtag save TVC. Oh no,
it's back. I guess the hashtag never went away, but they've been saved. But now they might be they might be a sinking ship. Who knows?
Yeah, I honestly don't. I don't think Hasbro's going to change those. I really don't. I do think that vintage look is part of the line, and changing that is taking away a big reason why people collect those. So I would be very surprised if that happened in the line, personally.
See, I'd be surprised if they kept the vintage collection the way it is, because I know it uses a small amount of plastic with that bubble, but their goal is to get rid of all of plastic in their new products. So they have to I think they have to find a way.
We'll see. What they could do is get rid of the in bubble kind of tray and go, because back in the 70s or whatever, the figures just kind of rattled around in there in just the blister. Yeah. You know, they didn't have that tray underneath there. So just getting rid of that could probably help out a lot and would improve the nostalgia of the packaging, because it kind of sets it back even closer to what that original line looked like.
Yeah, I think if I were CEO of Hasbro, I would have, or if I could make a choice, I would have gotten rid of find a way to get rid of the insert, the shell on the inside.
Yeah, the shell is a lot of plastic. I think that's more plastic
the
than
a lot. Yeah. And I would have at least kept the sheet of plastic till you can see in it still. Yeah. But that's just me personally. That way you're still getting rid of a lot of plastic, and you're still allowing people to see it through the box.
All they have to do is put a cardboard insert in there, tie the figure with like a paper tie or like a cardboard tie, and then just put a little plastic front on it so you can still see through it. But it's using less plastic and like minimal plastic, but it's still cutting down the plastic usage a lot. So I think that would have been a good compromise to being. But I don't think they're ever going to get rid of plastic on packaging completely. I know they say that that's their goal, but I still think there's still going to be what they call like the capsules, where plastic is still used. Like when they're going for that classic aesthetic, and the classic aesthetic use that. So like with the Marvel Legends retro figures, with the new Marvel Legends, the Origins figures they're doing, I think those are all always going to have some kind of plastic in there, because I don't see them stopping those anytime soon, unless they just make all the characters, in which case I guess they did stop it. So I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, they better not, because 2025 is far away, and I need the Revenge of the Sith throwback packaging. And if 2023 they say, all right, no more, like we're done with plastic totally, even the sublines, they better. If you're listening to this and you're scheduled to go on one of the next Hasbro Q&As, you better ask them about sublines. Yeah. Like, ask them about the retro packaging. If they don't ask about packaging, you don't ever deserve to be on one of those Q&As again.
Like, it's kind of interesting because we don't
be asked.
We don't. There isn't really. It's the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones.
And there's no news.
Well, there wasn't really Attack of the Clones specific packaging. Because all they did was they changed to the Saga collection when Attack of the Clones came out. So there was packaging for it, and it was a packaging change, but they also just threw like everything in those packages. It wasn't just Attack of the Clones figures. Yeah. It was just new packaging for the whole line, and the first couple waves happened to be all Attack of the Clones figures. But Episode 1 had specific Episode 1 boxes packaging, and Episode 3 had specific Episode 3 packaging. So for those, I totally get it, but I honestly could not care about getting 6-inch figures in that Saga in the Saga packaging. I don't care about that at all.
Yeah, and if they do decide not to do any of those retro lines with plastic, it's gonna suck in 2026. I get or when?
Heck, 2023.
2023. That's right. I'm thinking Return of the Jedi. Yeah, 1983. Yeah, the anniversary for that. Because we'll have the A New Hope Empire ones, and then here's a
nothing for Return of the Jedi. Yeah,
here's a cardboard one with like the picture of like how it was back in the day, and like the little they can put the little picture in the little rectangle in the bottom corner, and then you got to open it up, and who knows? It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. That's for sure.
Like I said, I think they can do it for the majority of the line, but there's always going to be little releases like that, limited releases, where they'll still use plastic for those specific releases.
I really hope so.
Those are also made in smaller quantities too. Like for this wave, this isn't a wave that's exclusive anywhere. They're going everywhere. They're going everywhere across the world. They're being sold by every retailer, Target, Walmart, online, Amazon, whatever, whereas when they have those exclusive ones, like those classic vintage ones or whatever, they're made in much smaller quantities. So it's not as much plastic being used. So I really don't think those are going anywhere. I'd be very surprised if they were changed.
Yeah. Yeah. If they change those, that's basically Hasbro throwing away extra money. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And we know they don't like doing that. So, but that's all I got. You need anything on top of that?
No, I mean, I again just reiterating, don't care if they take if they take that plastic away. It's not going to affect anything for me. I'm still going to buy the figures. I'm still going to open all my figures. I'm still going to enjoy all my figures. Don't care.
Yep. Yeah. I'm in we're not in different boats, but we're not in the same boat. You know what I mean? Like I'm not.
You basically just have empathy for the people.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you have empathy. I have no empathy.
I have empathy because I'm just like I'm gonna enjoy my cardboard box and my figure, but I just feel bad for because I know some people not personally, but the online community. There's collectors that I talk to regularly in DMs that they're just like. I don't know, they legit don't know if they're going to buy just to put the box on their shelf, you know what I mean, and just look at the box. So, if you're an inbox collector, would you have to buy two now? One to open, and then you could put the open one in front of the sealed box, maybe? Is that what you're going to have to do? By
maybe.
Double? Who knows? Maybe. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but, like I said, it's not everyone, but a lot of people, of collections I've seen, especially of Black Series, all those boxes, they're just turned to their side with the number showing because they have so many and they're putting them on shelves, and that's the logical way to display them, like a book. But like you own it, but you're not even really looking at it. What's the point? I've at least got mine on my shelf. I can step over here and I can see all my figures. I don't have to pull it out and be like, oh, yep, that's the figure. And I put it back in. I'm, in a Dewey Decimal System over here of all my toys, trying to look them up. I've just got them on the shelf. And there's inherent risk there because when something is open, that means that thing can break, and I get that. But that's part of that risk. It's part of that the risk assessment of will you being enjoy it more? Collector. Yeah, being a toy collector. And for me, I just really love having my hands on the figures and actually feeling them, knowing what it's like to actually handle the figures that I've spent money on.
Yeah, and I love looking up Holdo's dress on the figure.
I do, man. That's how you do a proper review. Yeah. But I also don't get the people that collect for monetary value.
That's what the people who collect sealed cases, I'm like, you need to buy stocks, dude. Like,
yeah, well, even the people that buy the individual toys just to hold on to, like,
yeah.
I just don't collect toys for monetary value. That's
like
days
the worst thing you could do, because you're going to lose money on half of them.
Yeah.
And the other 25% are going to stay the same. And then like you might get one every now and then. It's really rare, but it's not going to be enough to fund your retirement. You know,
if you want to throw your money away, go buy an NFT. Like,
yeah,
it's the same. It's the same thing. Honestly, it's both a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that I've angered at least a quarter of the people out there with my views on collecting, I guess.
I think that sounds like a good place to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we have a nice, good, short discussion today, but it's a little longer for the people that have supported us on Patreon. And I just wanted to say thank you again to those people, because they got that pre-Patreon show, and they get to see our beautiful faces while we're talking instead of just listening to the dulcet tones of our voices. Zach's got a good pose going on.
Oh, yeah. So, Mike, just in case this is your first time listening, Mike, where can they find your content?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at Mike Case, just Mike Case. That'll bring up my channel. I am on Instagram at Trusty Sidekick, and I'm on the Twitter at Mike Case. And now I do have a TikTok, and I've made like 5 or 6 videos on TikTok. And they've all gotten like 500 views, or like just shy of 500 views. So it feels pretty good. It's nothing cool like you, Zach, but on there, I'm at MikeCase82.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at the Star Wars Black Series. You know, I put up on my Instagram story, I took a screenshot of my followers on TikTok, and I was at 6969. So
nice.
That's a very nice number.
That's a good number.
I hope I don't get any more followers, because just stay at that number. It's perfect. But you can follow me on those 2 platforms. You can also email us, blackseriescantina@gmail.com. You can subscribe to our Patreon if you liked the show that much.
Yeah. And you can also follow our us on Twitter as well, at TBS Cantina. Yeah.
Yep, that's at TBS Cantina, like Mike said. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think that's it. Oh, I was going to say, let us know what you think on the whole cardboard plastic situation. I think most people don't like it from what I've seen. It seems like it's kind of like a 65-35 split of like don't, and then to do like it. I've seen some polls also that say like numbers like that. So
yeah, outside of debating, because we said I was going to take that other hard line where like I like it. I honestly just don't care. It's not like I'm for it. But I'm just not super against it. Like it's not going to affect me at all personally.
Yeah.
So that's my stance on it. I'm not being like that Hasbro show. Like, no, everything Hasbro does is good. I just don't care. Like nothing about it really affects how I'll collect. So fine, like whatever.
Yeah, you have no empathy. I have a heart though.
Oh I guess I'm like Tin Man right over here.
Yeah, Mike has a cold heart. We learned today.
Dead,
so he said,
dead shriveled husk of a heart.
He said, "Screw your collection."
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Screw your collection. Screw you.
You pretty much did. If anybody's listening to this,
kind of a little bit.
If you're an inbox collector, Mike literally said he has no appreciation for your collection.
I said I don't fundamentally understand it, but they can collect how they want. I'm not going to stop them. I would never, if I were president of the United States, I would never enable legislation where it's like everyone has to open up all their toys. You know, I would never do that. But me personally, I would never consider not opening up my toys, and except for very specific circumstances.
I would make it sign my very first minute as president. I would sign an executive order saying, Hasbro, you're gonna redo the Rancor campaign, and you're gonna do it right this time. That's what I would say.
It's always got to come back to that stupid Rancor campaign.
Absolutely. But
all right.
That's about all. So everybody have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening. Bye.